I think he's gonna hatch Proxy Hatch here.
Oh, he's pulling a dark. This is
this is funky.
But I think realistically, we can look at this series and say, yeah, Bly is absolutely using his results in previous series to throw. This is not even a wrench. This is like an aircraft-sized wrench at Strange's head. You know, it's like, oh, you're gonna proxy hatch me. Oh, well, actually, no, that's not quite what this is. I mean, yes, it is, but it's not just to block the hatch. And because this is a full wall off, this gateway is under so much threat steadfast. 8 lings on top of it, and actually a couple more, they're gonna join the fray. So, oh, Strange lets the Zealot go on the other side to try to defend, but it's just gonna be a full surround.
Yes, it will, and I hope that Bly tunnel visions this gateway and just kills it off, because if he does, that is going to slow down production so much. Will the Adept get out? The answer is, oh, just barely not. This is so good for Bly. He has killed the gateway. There is no tech out for Strange. The wall is a disaster to look at.
Steadfast, look at the main.
Horrible. And he committed to a cannon, and he snuck the drone into the main base.
When did this happen?
How did this even happen? How did he do this?
I genuinely don't know. This drone was in the main. This must have been in the main base for a long time. It gets found out, so I guess there's that. That is, I mean, we don't get the full boom build here, but already, I mean.
I mean, this is I love where Bly has positioned the lings, by the way. He still gets to see the new gateway. He's put it on hold position. This is a situation where if Strange doesn't respond quite significantly to this could actually just win the game, because there's only the one gateway. And as a result, Bly is like, okay, you're gonna build the Adept. You're gonna chrono boost this out. Funnily enough, the Overlord doesn't see this, so he does need those lings. This is gonna force a probe pull. This is worth it for Bly, even now. I think it's not gonna be as worth it as the initial opener, but this is already so good. And now he denies the scout. This is already such a rough position for Strange. Bly lets this finish. I don't know if I like that, but it will force out at least the Void Rain. Will continue to keep the discomfort dialed up.
Yeah, what I'm trying to figure out, though, is this lair timing, right? Or what Bly's idea, because Bly does not get a lair just to get a lair. He has some reasoning behind it. Roach speed for now, as the lings are going to get the Adepts. There we go. What's happening with the Void Ray? Actually, yeah, you can't quite fight the Queen, or can't quite fight the Queen, not just yet. But there we go. There's the Spore, so Queen should be able to pull itself back. Oh, they're both so low. Where, again, what's Bly's idea here? He cut Queen production for a while as he was getting the lairs, so we know it's not going to be some sort of Queen-nitis.
Chances are Strange is going to go for a little bit of aggression with these carriers, and he's got Queens to defend this at home, and now the Roaches, they can run into the third base. They've got Roach speed. Bly is focused on the defense at home and will lose a couple of Queens. The interceptor count is still rather high. This is a little bit dangerous right now for Bly, but he's going to be able to save these Queens for the moment. Roach is finally going to go in on the third base during all this. Good micro on the carriers so far, keeping these alive, but he might have stepped a little bit too far. It's going to be really close. Oh, he gets the carrier. That's a gigantic pickoff. And now on the other side of the map, the Roaches are going to run on in. Void Ray will be very handy here for the defense. But losing that one carrier is actually so huge.
I mean, okay, Corruptors are on the way, so yes, it is. I do want to point something out, by the way, as we've been kind of watching this, and it's been something that I think is really fascinating. Strange got so much more done with those first 2 carriers, and obviously he should not have lost one of them, let's be clear. But he got so much more done with them than he should have, because the carriers have target priority. So the interceptors were not getting gunned down. As we saw Strange, he would pull his carriers just a little bit further forward into Queen range. The Queens would target it, and there is no way to target interceptors down. You just have to hope the AI works in your favor. And then he would pull back and just kind of soak the damage on the shields for quite a while. So we got a couple more Queens than you would expect. But now, with the Corruptors here, this is just 2 dead carriers, heavy damage on a third maybe. And Strange, again, overstays his hand, overstays his welcome.
And all it takes is prismatically aligned Void Rays with good upgrades, you know, having just a little bit of free time against these Corruptors, and it can be a really big problem. We're going to see Caustic Spray on the natural. Roaches with their Burrow Tunneling Claws trying to find an opening. Bly does need to disengage and will get shoved away. But for now, the thing is about playing Sky Toss, you're kind of just hoping that the Zerg messes up somehow, because the ball is in their court to make the right moves, and so far Bly is making them.
So Steadfast Roddy, when he left, he said, I hope you get another 60-minute draw yesterday. And obviously this is not looking like it's going to go to a draw just yet, but it is starting to build us into a long game. Strange is not going to want to move on the map, and these are, again, really snipes from these corruptors. They're a really good one. But Strange is not going to want to move away from his static defense. Bly is going to find it harder and harder to break the wall as well. So the question now is Bly, I mean, sharking around here, just soaking up some damage. Of course, corruptors are incredibly tanky with that armor they have. So he's just, again, looking around at the moment. And now the question becomes, where do you go from here, right? Hive is halfway done. Getting a Void Ray is always going to be really nice. But how do you kind of, I guess, coax the Protoss to play the game you want to play?
I mean, honestly, like I said, Bly, he's making all the right moves. He's getting that Hive, add on a couple Vipers for Abducts. He's already been able to snipe down a couple of key air units, and he will get this. Actually, this is now an overwhelming number of Corruptors. We are going to see Bly able to wipe out a lot of this. A couple of Void Rays do join up, and they prismatically align instantly, but Bly... It's expensive, but it is an extremely effective fight right there. 11 Corruptors for 2 Void Rays, 4 Carriers. Yeah, you take that every day of the week in this situation. And honestly, there is a transition coming in from Strange, but he doesn't have a great economy. Bly knows that there's now a transition into ground, and he's ready with his own. He's got a bunch of Roaches in production now. Baneling Nest is about to finish up. Adrenal Glands +2 melee, a bunch of Lings. Bly has run away with this game.
Oh, he really has. That fight worked out super well because Strange had popped his shield battery over, or his overcharge 15, 20 seconds earlier. I'm not sure when he did that actually, but it was on cooldown as the fight was happening. So you do need the shield battery overcharge to make sure you can hold on to that fight. You do need you need more anti-corruptor than Strange did have. So at this point, Strange is not allowed to have any sky units. The Roaches are going to knock this 4th base down. And while, you know, sure, Adrenal Glands are not done. +1 certainly is. More Void Rays go down here. And even if the shield battery overcharge keeps this base alive, it's those tech units, those expensive units that are going to try to... Bly's going to knock down. And Strange...
Well, he is going to go for a hatch first at his opponent's natural. It was already just such a huge lead from Bly that the fact that he wasn't able to do as much as he would have liked to didn't really matter.
Yeah, and it's always interesting. I mean... you gotta figure, right? We've seen Bly proxy hatch, I think, every single ZVP or every single PvZ we've seen him play. And if the answer is not every single ZVP, it's like all but one or something. Strange, you have to figure with how much history and how often that these two players have played against each other. We would assume that at this point, Strange would have a lot of practice dealing with this, but clearly that was not enough of a case in game number 1. Bly absolutely bamboozled him. What is this probe doing? Does Strange think Bly wants to... Oh, you know what? He's got a pylon in the natural, so he's going to try to block the double, like, awkward expand coming out of Bly, but Lings deal with this soon enough that I don't really... Oh, he gets the probe!
I do think Strange has responded as correctly as you can, and especially the fact that he's able to force this situation means that this counterattack from Strange has so much potential. 2 Zealots, 4 Adepts is a lot of firepower, especially before Ling Speed completes. Strange, oh, this is not the fight for Bly. He does not want to engage this with that small number of Lings. Bly has to build so many Lings right now, and Strange has a ton of potential. He's going to kill this Queen. I would love to see a cancel on the Shade. Yeah, there we go. He is just going to clean out all these Lings. And this counterattack, it might actually just get game-ending damage.
Yeah, we talked about you got to figure that Strange has practice. He has opportunity. He knows how to deal with this. Well, he's proving that he is. I mean, he's killing Queens. He's killing Lings. He's killing drones. There is no 3rd base on the way for Bly. He doesn't get to make that happen. And the Lings, speed is done, Steadfast. You're right. Yeah, I mean, that is kind of the timing where suddenly this becomes a little bit harder. But at this point, the Adepts, they're just juking everything out. That's another dead Queen. And finally, it seems like these Adepts should get dealt with. But it is worth so much here. I mean, final count as this Adept goes down. 30 Lings, 2 Queens, 2 drones, and a delayed natural or 3rd base, whatever you want to call it. Bly, he feels pressured to run across the map, but he doesn't get into this wall, not at all.
But I don't know how Bly is ever going to hold this big, what is this, 6 gates? Yeah, 6 gate glaives that is going to be coming online momentarily.
Well, you know, Steadfast, they say knowledge is half of a hold, and Bly, he has that half. He saw the Twilight go down, he sees the extra gateways. He knows that his opponent is just trying to lean into him with literally everything he has. To say, okay, he's not going to get that Adept at. Well, seems like he might chase after it, but
But it's
Adepts?
the warp in on the side.
Yeah, there we go. That's the
The
important
proxy
thing.
pylon.
Yeah. Yeah. So a bunch of adepts warping in on the right side here. So a bunch of adepts warping in on the right side here. Alien Nest is done, Steadfast. Like, if there is an opportunity, Bly does have it. He knows what's coming. He does have the Baleen Nest. He's pumping lings, but we don't have any Banelings on the way just yet. He needs them. Actually, he needs them yesterday, but now would be pretty nice too.
Yeah, he does need them yesterday. He is adding on an additional gas. He still doesn't know about this pylon on the right side, and it is going to be such a problem. We've got this big adept warping coming on in. Strange. I mean, he's waiting a long time, and Bly does build some Banelings. But as long as Strange doesn't clump up everything into the Banes, this should just be way too much to handle. He's going to shade right into the main base. I don't think you should even hesitate. I think you just go. Send the next wave of adepts into the third base. Make sure you're not completely clumped up against the Banes, and Bly will have no chance of holding.
Yeah, with the ramp here, Strange, he got past it anyways, but at this point, the Banelings, they had to morph in the third. Bly could not defend a ton of positions, and they were so late that, again, they were halfway done when the adepts arrived. So Bly, he can never truly engage. I mean, the split from Strange is fantastic. Bly's going to try to make it happen, and, splits mean that you can sometimes get surrounds, but this is just not ever really going to work super well, even as additional Banelings join the way in. They're going to shade onto the third base here, and yeah, there are a couple Banes, and they will go down. They will get some damage done, but unfortunately, it was a Strange game, and in that I mean Strange. He takes game 2.
He is going to go for the 2-gate. That's fine, but his hatchery is going to, Strange's Nexus is going to be just so ridiculously late.
I love how Bly is like okay, so game 1, he went Proxy Hatch, and it was 14 pool. Oh, wow, he didn't even let that last all that long at all. There was no pressure on that hatch. He could have let that hatch last for quite a while before going for the Evo block, but I guess maybe he wanted the money back.
Yes.
Regardless, game 1, he goes super into it. He goes and he Proxy Hatches, and it's a 14 pool, and it is very aggressive, and he gets himself ahead from that. Game 2 is kind of middle ground. It's hatch first on the other side, but it is still a hatch block, and he found his natural delayed, and that was unfortunate, but he's dialing it back a little bit. And then in game 3, he dials it back one step further. It goes hatch first at home, gets that 16 hatch or whatever it was, then puts a drone on the other side, and then blocks the hatch as well. So every single time, he's like pulling a layer back on this Proxy Hatch build and playing something that is, I don't know, approximating a more standard game. I mean, Steadfast, it's still a Proxy Hatch. I don't know how standard we can say it, but it's getting closer to that standard game. Oh, absolutely not. There's creep connected between the main and the natural, close enough here. There are 2 queens at the front, and there are just enough lings. So yeah, a queen takes damage Steadfast, but lings, they're going to look for this around here. You add a third adept, and math gets a little bit more complicated, but if you get this Zella down, it gets, again, just a little bit easier. There's a third queen out of the map right now, back up to the ramp. Lings, though, they do have to re-engage, and that is a dead queen. Adept's starting to get a little bit more here, and we said it shouldn't get that much done. It's still not as much as game number 1, so this is 4, 5, 6, 7 dead drones, and all of a sudden, it's a disaster. Bly thought he was safe. He had lings, he had queens. But Steadfast, sometimes you need more than that.
Yeah, that was not supposed to get anywhere near the amount of damage that it did, but Bly really, he didn't even underreact. He had the units that he needed, but he just didn't execute as well on the defense as he needed to, and now he is in a lot of trouble. He is going to get in on the other side of the map, will kill out a depth that was in the wall, and the sentry, its force field might block a warp in. Okay, force field was well enough placed that he can re-wall behind this. We're going to see the gateway probably getting targeted down. Bly, I was going to say, yeah, make sure to tunnel that one gateway. He will get the kill, so he gets a little bit of value out of these lings. Actually, a decent bit of value, but it's still going to be a very, very effective counterattack from Strange, and Bly, I really feel like it was he just bumbled the defense a little bit there, and now he's not in a great position at all. He's in an okay one.
And let's see what Bly has in store. Steadfast, he's got a lair on the way, and this timing does not give time for that.
No, it is certainly not going to help him at this moment. It will be good in the future, and I do like that he's setting up to potentially wall. Oh, this is a huge scout. Okay, now he can get a drone ready to go. Yeah, he's got it ready to complete a full wall. There it is. And these Glaive Adepts,
they're just gonna
are going to shade forward. That is a bold move right here. Oh, he actually missed targets for a moment, allows Bly to cancel and rebuild the Evo chamber wall. This is such a good start for Bly. He is going to lose one of these roaches on this base, and nice target fire. Oh, I love that he targets the larva. That's such a great little move. And the Adepts, are they going to shade forward? Okay, I was going to say, that would be a very bold move. There's so many roaches there. He gets another roach that pops out. And behind this, there is a Dark Shrine. Strange, he can potentially just kill this hatch and retreat. This isn't such a bad situation here. Oh, not the best shade forward. Roaches in the main base not joining up.
Yeah, I think he's walled out. That's why the shade was weird, but that's why the roaches are weird, because the roaches, they just cannot reinforce. And Steadfast, I want to talk about serious planning for a second, because what Strange is doing right now is so smart. Bly was worried about this opportunity. In game number 2, he dropped spores, and it seems like, okay, he does have one after all, but he dropped spores, and he really was not building them here. He's got the one in the natural. This third base is certainly under threat. There are a lot of Adepts here. This Roach Warren, it seems like it's just going to go down, so no roach speed. You cannot react to the Adepts nearly as quickly. We need to see that Roach Warren get remade. And now, is he going to get the third base? There's like, what, 1-2 transfuse on these queens. He's going to target it down. Is there enough healing here? It looks like that answer is no. So the third base goes down. The Roach Warren goes down. There's a single spore on the map. And now the Adepts, they get on top of a couple roaches as well. The ones that were marooned in the main base earlier. So, yeah, you know, this start of this hold from Bly was really good. But at this point, these Adepts from Strange are just doing absolutely so much here. I don't really see it. Yeah, Bly should not be able to hold on to that third base. He's actually walled himself into his main. There's no way to reinforce. He doesn't have a chance to cancel the Evo, so these Adepts, they become even more powerful. And yes, Steadfast, we're not going to see Void Rays. We're not going to see Carriers. Nothing like that. It's just double Stargate Phoenix +1 on the way. Any shot at Mutas it's dead on arrival. It's so dead.
Yeah, if he actually does commit to these mutas, this is such a good counter from Strange. And while Bly has had Strange's number in a lot of their matches, this is looking on paper like Strange is really gonna have this one in the bag.
Yeah, at this point, it's getting a little awkward. Bly really cannot hold on to a third base. He can't reinforce his roaches anywhere. The fourth base, well, that's going to go... Okay, Bly doesn't cancel that, and the Adepts, they cancel their shades. They say, yes, please, thank you, I'll take that fourth base. And yeah, there we go. 7 mutas on the way, Steadfast. How quickly, after Bly scouts the... What are we at? 7 Phoenix. How quickly does Bly leave this game after he sees 7 Phoenix?
Oh, Bly's never going to leave this game.
Okay, fair.
This is where he lives now. This is his house. He lives in this game. Bly doesn't leave games. But no, in all seriousness, this is going to be a very unfortunate time. Actually, this is best case. Oh, this is best case scenario by far. If he doesn't... Oh, he canceled one of the mutas that was being built at that base. These mutas are now going to sneak across the map. This... Oh, boy.
Okay.
This might be the worst thing he could do for Strange. Showing... This is so unfortunate because these mutas are going to get into the main base. They're going to find a ton of probes. They're going to scout the Dark Shrine. There is an Overseer with this. Best thing that Strange can do is snipe that Overseer immediately, but the DT will go down. Mutas are going to find value on the other side. We do see a recall coming into the natural with the Phoenixes, but the Phoenixes not getting in a position. So many probes go down. Bly, he was hard countered. How does he do it?
It actually really does not make any sense whatsoever. Strange is going to lose this third base as well. Now, it seems like the detection is done, so these DTs are really nice. But Steadfast, Roach Burrow movement is going to be done pretty soon here, so Bly can continue the chaos. And we're looking at actually no detection on the map right now, so that is something we're going to be keeping our eye on. And behind this, Bly seems comfortable on 49 drones. Any other Zerg, I might say, yeah, his economy's horrible. But it's Bly, and he lives here. This is his house, this is his home. He has pitched his flag, and this is the game he's gonna play. So 8 Hydras are on the way. Roach Burrow, movement speed. Strange is going to struggle to really move out of the map at all at this point. And yeah, you know what? Losing 10 mutas, not all that happy, but for the damage that he took, I mean, you take that any given Sunday. Although, Phoenix on the other side, really not a lot of... We only have 2 queens, and that's actually gonna be 0 queens very quickly. Not a ton of spores either. So these Phoenix, they're going to be able to impose their will for just a little bit.
That they are, but you know what else is going to be able to impose its will? These roaches. There's not a single observer on the map. He might actually, if he's so inclined, he could potentially go for the robotics facility and just try and kill it off. but I think just going for probes is also a great and very valid response. We're going to see these burrow move roaches unburrowing. They are going to massacre the mineral line, and they are going to fly into the future.